Welcome back, friends. Excuse me. We are live. Episode 36 of this live show that we do here on Castro Valley News called Castro Valley News Live. Thank you guys for joining the program tonight. Hope everybody is doing well. I hope you can hear me. We had some issues with the microphone last time. I think it was not plugged in properly. Um, Let me check my list here. There you go, sending a message. Sorry, guys, behind the scenes, sending a message. Um, all right, so I have been informed that the sound is okay. Bob, hey Bob, how are you, sir? Hope you are doing well. I hope everyone's doing well. Bob said if it's Tuesday, it must be River, and don't, I don't know that. Maybe that's from a show or something that I don't know about. Nathan is here. How you doing, Nathan? Let's do the roll call here. So we got Kathy. How you doing, Kathy? Hope you're doing well. We've got Kathy, Nathan, and Bob. Who else is out there? Well, there's this thing here says that there's 52 people watching. So if you're watching and listening, say hello, and we'll give you a shout out. If you are not familiar with the live show that we do here, it's audio only. There's a piece of duct tape over the camera on my computer. Bob was saying hello. If it's Tuesday, it must be Robert. Todd Anglin. Let me take a moment. I want to say hello to Kimberly as well. Fairyist. I believe I said your name right. I hope so. Um, Kimberly, how are you doing, Kim? I wish I had some news for you, some good news about the bowling alley opening up. Kim, I honestly don't know. I think the bowling alley is going to open back up when Alameda County gets out of the purple category in regards to the shelter in place. We're all kind of in a waiting game here, like we've been for the past 8 9 months. Mary, hello, good evening. Dennis, how you doing? Good to have you here. Gabby, hello, hola, CV peeps. How are you doing, Gabby? Good to have you on the show here. Thank you so much for everyone else. Let me go down the list one more time. We got Gabby. We've got Mary. I feel like Miss Nancy on was it Romper Room? Um, Mary, Kim, Nathan, Todd, Nathan. Did I say Nate? I think I said Nathan like 4 times. Bob, Kathy. Um, Let me tell you guys something about Todd Anglin. You probably recognize his name because he's been an advertiser with us for a long time. But Todd is involved in a lot of things behind the scenes here in Castro Valley. He's a mover and a shaker, and he's a doer. And he cares about Castro Valley, which is more important than being a mover and a shaker or a doer. Um, Todd's involved with CV Rotary and also involved in the Castro Valley Chamber of Commerce. Um, Marie May, how you doing? Good evening to you. Todd is Todd's just one of those guys that's all heart, and a lot of it is full of our community. He really loves Castro Valley, and he volunteers a lot of his time and a lot of his effort to improve things in town, to um, to help businesses, to bring events to our town. There was a lighted caravan that was supposed to happen a few weeks ago that Todd was really involved in big time to make it happen, and unfortunately, the uh, the shelter in place regulation was order. I'm sorry, the shelter in place order was updated, and it kind of put the kibosh on that. But I want to thank Todd for all of the hours he volunteers to improve our community. He's an awesome dude. He's got a great sense of humor. If you're not familiar with his business, he's a State Farm real estate agent. Real estate, sorry. Oh man, he's a State Farm insurance agent. His office is over on it's over on Grove. If you can hear that, I'm knocking my head because I don't want to say Redwood, but Todd's office is over on Grove, and this isn't an advertisement. I just want you guys to know who he is. He like I said, he's one of those people in our town that that really cares about our community and volunteers tirelessly to make things happen to improve our community. And I just wanted to thank Todd for everything he does behind the scenes to to make cool and awesome things happen in our town. Thank you, Todd, and thank you for being a great friend. Thank you for being just a general, all around awesome dude. I talked to Todd earlier today about things that are happening in town, good things that the Chamber of Commerce is doing, and the great things that CV Rotary are doing, which happen all the time. And we will be giving you more of a heads up on those things after the fact with some photos and some information of the generous donations and um, just amazing things that the chamber and Rotary are doing behind the scenes. Um, Kim says it's a bummer that the village didn't have a Christmas tree lighting this year. I totally agree with you. Every year we go and we live stream that event for you guys to see at home. The performances are top notch. It's always a fun night. I remember last year, the village was just packed with people, and they had the stage in a different area, kind of in the center, over near Don Jose's, and the Castro Valley High Madrigals performed, and they are always they're a vocal group. They're always just fantastic, and of course there were performers from all of the from many of the dance studios here in town, and those are always amazing and fun performances to see. Also, there are singers and musicians from the Castro Valley School of Music. Um, the only thing I can say in regards to the tree lighting is look forward to next year's being bigger and better and funner. I think next year we're gonna hopefully be at a point where the events that we all know and love here in our town are gonna come back. The Rowell Ranch Rodeo Parade, the Chili Cook-Off, the Light Parade got canceled, and I love the Light Parade. We live stream the Light Parade all the time, and it's such a fun event because it's really a lot of it is it's kids. It's geared for the children in our town to have fun, to be able to light up their entries and have a blast. We will see the car show next year, I hope. Cruise night will come back next year, and it's just heartbreaking for all of the people like Todd who invest all this time so that Castro Valley can have a blast and a good time out there, and all these events are just shut down because of the pandemic that we're in. But the silver lining is next year is going to be we're going to get back and we're going to have these events again, and we'll be able to see our neighbors and enjoy um, the community. Sorry, Don. Don from One Bad Apple is here as well. Layla, hello. I don't want to. I don't want to miss people here who are saying hello. Um, just bear with me. I'm looking through. John is mentioning he misses the light parade. I totally miss the light parade. Brenda misses the fall festival. The fall festival got canceled as well. Fall festival is a blast. It's always good to see um, all of the businesses and the community organizations that are there. Layla loved cruise night. Thank you. Cruise night was amazing. The first year was fun. The second year of cruise night was amazing. Brian is mentioning, anyone know what's up with the loud music coming from the top of Canyon Middle School tonight? I don't know. Is there a soiree that we don't know about? Is there a party up there? Um, that's a good question. I haven't heard anything about it. If there's anyone who lives near Canyon Middle School, and Lori's mentioning the rodeo. Yeah, I missed the rodeo too. Aren't we're so freaking lucky? I said freaking. I almost dropped the f bomb there. I would have had to put $1 in the swear jar. We are so freaking lucky to have all these so many events that the person who should actually know about all of them forgets one of them. How can I forget the rodeo? I love the rodeo. As a photographer, the rodeo is so fun to take pictures of because there's so much action and so much fun happening. It's really a challenge to get wonderful photos at the rodeo. And I've over the years, I've got quite a few amazing photos there. But again, if anybody knows if there's some sort of get together or a party happening near Canyon Middle School, someone's hearing some loud music in that area. Um, Joanna is mentioning the light parade is the essence of community, and I agree. I agree. Um, Santa's there. Um, like I said, all the baseball teams have entries. The dance studios are there. Yeah, that light parade is awesome. Someone is mentioning that there's a drive-in Hanukkah celebration at Canyon tonight. So I don't. Uh, Gosh, I'm gonna say your name wrong. Nurlip Singh. Nurlip, thank you so much. That's the beauty of social media here is you ask a question and you get an answer instantly. So there's a drive-in Hanukkah celebration at Canyon tonight, and I did see an ad. I think there's like bands up there, or there's performers up there happening. So, um, Brian, there's your answer. And let me tip my cap to Brian because Brian is a Castro Valley resident, and he's also involved with Alameda County Fire. And Brian is and I'm going to swear here, Brian is a kick ass dude. I love Brian. Brian is one of those people who comes to the table with so much love and passion and energy for Castro Valley. You can't help but just be kind of in awe of it. Brian was instrumental in um, getting uh, the photo of the young man when he was 2 or 3 or 4 in getting the firefighter that he took the photo with, getting that uh, getting everyone together and making that up to date photo happen. I'm sorry, I'm stammering. I'm trying to put to words how awesome that was. That Brian did that because Brian knew immediately who that firefighter was and made all that happen and facilitated us going to the fire station here in Castro Valley. And yeah, thank you so much, Brian, for being just and I'll say it again, being a kick-ass dude, just being an awesome guy. And Todd also, yeah, Brian and Alameda County Fire rock. You guys are great. You guys are heroes in our community here in more ways than one. And Don is stupefied that I said ass, and I actually said ass 4 times. I mean, it ain't a big deal. It's the lighter end of the cuss spectrum. Um, for those who have listened to every show, we have actually had 2 f-bombs dropped on the show. If if you missed them, you missed them, but I didn't, and I heard them. We try to keep it clean here. Um, I would be remiss in not doing an introduction for Don in a weird voice. So tonight, let's do Elvis. just for Don Shelby over at One Bad Apple Records. I'm pretty sure Don's got some of my records in his bins there. Probably some of them from the '50s. Some good tracks, some good stuff. Thank you, Don, for being an awesome dude. Um, all silliness aside, I wanted to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for the amazing and overwhelming response to the Christmas card drive that we did for seniors at senior homes. And I've got some preliminary numbers here, and the donations keep coming in. And I would like to ask you guys if you can please donate. Do not donate any more cards. We have hit just about every Castro Valley home. We hit a couple of the big senior care homes in Hayward and San Leandro, and um, if you do have more cards to donate, I will um, I will find a home for them. But at this point right now, I went out, I believe it was Saturday, and I delivered to, I think, 8 or 9 homes, um, 8 or 9 of the senior centers, the care homes, like I said, in Castro Valley and in San Leandro, and I think there were a couple in Hayward as well. Overall, there were 12 locations. There was another person who helped facilitate this at a different care home, and I let me find her name here for you, and I'll give her a name drop. Just bear with me. Jamie U. Stock. She is actually a facilitator at one of the other care homes in town, and she really helped a great deal make all this happen. But actually, you guys, the people who donated all these cards, let me give you a number here. So just based on a couple of posts asking for cards to bring to these seniors, and I'll give you some of the background. The cards are going to the senior citizens at care and nursing homes who are most likely isolated due to the pandemic that we're in and that they are in. So out of you guys' amazing generosity so far, there were about 935 cards donated, and those were handmade. Not all handmade. Some were handmade. A lot were, store-bought greeting cards. But just think about that. Think about the number of 935 greeting cards, and there were also 50 handmade ornaments that went out as well. It just boggles the mind. It's amazing. It's amazing. And I wanted to share with you the reactions from a lot of the people that I reached out to, and also because of the pandemic, most of these homes and facilities did not let me in when I went to deliver. I just wanted to let you guys know. I know there was a comment there mentioning that it was not a good idea to go into these homes during the pandemic, and there were 2 places that let me in the lobby, but of course, i- delivering them to the residents is not going to happen due to the concerns for what's happening with COVID-19. But 935 cards are going have gone. I still have a couple hundred here that I'm going to have to find homes for, but I'll definitely make that happen. 935 cards going to these senior citizens who are in these homes who may not be able to visit with their family, um, may not um, may not be in a position where they can get that Christmas holiday joy. You guys did that. I think that's amazing. That's astounding. 935, and there's probably more coming. And there were before I went on and did these deliveries over the weekend, there were I had about 600 cards in my closet, and I was thinking, wow. I did feel a little bit overwhelmed, but the reactions from these people who work at these facilities, their reactions. I wish you could have seen all of them, and also a lot of the telephone conversations that I had with some of these administrators. Just amazing, amazing. Thank you guys so much for making that happen, and for letting me be a small part of delivering your cards to these care homes. 935. That's remarkable. That's amazing. 935 cards to 12 locations, and counting, and also the 50 ornaments, handmade ornaments made by the same young lady who did that the fundraiser for the Oakland Zoo. She made 50 amazing, very cool and cute um, Christmas ornaments. That alone, right there, is a world of awesomeness that Castro Valley should definitely be proud of. You guys totally did that. That's amazing. The response was 10, 20, 30 times more than I had expected. And thank you again. Thank you guys so much for doing that. That is 935 cards. If you can go to a store and check out a card display, I don't know, cards come in boxes of 20 or 40 or something like that. Just stack up 935 cards. Just do the math and stack up whatever amount that is. It's amazing. It's amazing. Yeah, if let's do a ticker on how many times I say amazing. Thank you guys so much for doing that. That was a lot of fun, and I think brightened the holidays for a lot of seniors in these care homes and facilities. And let me do the spiel that I do pretty much episode. Um, if you know of a senior, if you have a senior who's a relative, if you have a senior who's a neighbor, check in on them. Let them know that they are cared for. Let them know that you're there, and if you can run an errand for them, please do so. Probably just stopping and talking to them, and with anyone, just stopping and talking to anyone and sharing a moment of kindness is going to go a long way, especially in this day and age. But definitely, let's all keep an eye out and a lookout for the seniors, especially at this time, because they are in that very vulnerable group when it comes to in relation to the virus. Thanks again, guys. 935 cards. Speechless. I'm picking my jaw up off the floor. Um, what else we got going on here? I wanted to mention we are doing something, a little promotion thing for local businesses. If you haven't seen on the page, we got some more Hella Love Castro Valley bumper stickers that we're giving out. There's 100 of them, and within the first day, there were, I think, 12 people who sent in photos in participation for this thing that we're doing for local businesses. Basically, all you have to do is shop local, number one, and email a picture of the receipt from the business that you visited. So the email address is, hold on, let me find this. I should have been prepared. I got egg in my face because I'm not prepared, but here it is. So the email address is bizsticker@gmail.com, and that is BIZ sticker@gmail.com. So again, if you're out shopping at a independent business, chains like the big grocery stores don't count. Fast food doesn't count. Sorry. You can also get a gift card from a hair salon or a barber or nail salon because they're closed. Will definitely go. Those are definitely good. Um, but shop local. We just want to help promote shopping local and help our local businesses during this time. If you happen to go to multiple Castro Valley independent businesses in one day. Say if you go to Taqueria Portales, and then you go to the Hallmark store, and then you go to Aaron's art studio, and you spend money at all three of those businesses. Save your receipts from all three of those businesses. Email pictures of those receipts to us, and we'll send you three of the stickers. It's so important right now that we shop local and support our local businesses. We just wanted to do something kind of cool that would be an incentive for people to shop at those businesses. And speaking of business, let me give you the phone number here if you want to text something in, or if you would like to call. Calling in is okay. Most people prefer to text. 510-331-9112 is the direct line. I see 41 people out there. You've probably got a comment, question, confession, complaint, something about Castro Valley. I think it's awesome that someone had a question about something happening in town, and within a few moments somebody else had the answer. It's awesome. It's the power of social media. One more time, 510-331-9112. And Don is actually correct that Aaron said one of the F bombs, but there was another F bomb on the show that totally came out of nowhere, and it hit me like a Mack truck. That we were, uh, um, it was an interview, not even an interview. We were just talking shop with someone else who lives in Castro Valley, and it's okay. I don't think Facebook's gonna shut us down for a couple of F bombs on the show here. But getting back to the bumper sticker thing, please definitely, even if you don't want the bumper sticker, shop local, shop independent first. I mean, we all have to shop at the chain stores, and I know a lot of people like the fast food places, but um, definitely shop local, shop our independent businesses, and we have a ton of them here. And I know I harp on this every episode too. A lot of the people who own the small businesses in our community are people who live in the community, so they're really our neighbors. So we're really helping our neighbors when you get down to the nitty gritty of it. Um, so please, 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 I have a ton of these stickers I would love to give to you guys. All you have to do is just go spend a couple bucks. Somebody sent in a receipt from Cafe Rumi for a coffee. That's you get a sticker. All you got to do is just email a photo of your receipt from a local independent business, and you get one of those Hella Love Castro Valley stickers. They're fun, they're cool. All the cool kids are going to have them on their cars. They're going to put them on their Trapper Keepers. They're going to put they're going to put them on their Powell Peralta skateboards. And if you don't have one, you might not look that cool. But definitely, please shop local if nothing else. I'll give you the email address one more time. That is bizsticker@gmail.com. That is bizsticker@gmail.com. And Marie is mentioning that she just remembered Dryden Tide and she misses that place. I miss that place too. If nothing else, just walking by and smelling all the potpourri was amazing. And the people in there were just super, super kind. I had a close friend who worked at Dryden Tide, and it was super sad when they closed after a bunch of years. Good folks, good stuff. Always fun to look around and check out there. Um, uh, Bob is asking, was Spencer Christian the CV resident you mentioned last week? And yes, ding, 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 you win. You win the plush banana, Bob. Spencer Christian was the Castro Valley resident we mentioned last week, who is on page one of the um, the new Castro Valley News magazine. So if you can make it out to a local business, you can get one of those Castro Valley News magazines. I just saw the Pete's Hardware still has some. Oh boy, it might be easier to mention the place with the shelter in place. It is definitely tough to to find places where we can deliver the magazine, but I know Pete's Hardware has some. Coming up next week, we'll probably mention that we'll be mailing some out. So if you can hang tight, next week we'll be mailing some out. Del Cafe has some. One Bad Apple Records has some Castro Valley News magazines. I know I left Don some last week, but yeah, I sent an email to Spencer, just kind of thinking maybe he'd be interested in doing a little interview about Castro Valley. He's been a resident here for a couple of years, and he was super excited. He was extremely prompt in getting responses to me. I think I sent some questions to him one night, and he got them back to me the same night. But cool guy, awesome. It was fun to kind of go back and forth with him about Castro Valley, and just like us, he loves Castro Valley too. So if you get a chance, go to gosh, um, Wen's Cafe has them. JP's has them. Boulevard Burger has some. Rudy's Donuts has a pretty good stack up there. So definitely, if you're out and about, the Andre is asking, does shopping at the marketplace count? Yes, they're independent. So have at it. We actually did get a couple of receipts from businesses in the marketplace. So yeah, the marketplace definitely counts. But getting back to Bob's comment about Spencer Christian, it was just a joy to kind of go back and forth with him, and he is he is apparently as nice as he seems on TV, and it's cool that he lives here in our community. Um, Randall is mentioning used to cruise San Leandro Strip on Friday and Saturday nights when he was single. Um, I remember cruising in the back seat of my mom's boyfriend's car. I was a little kid. We would make the route from Pring's to, oh gosh, we would go to Holiday Bowl, and then we come up Castro Valley Boulevard, which was probably, and I know I'll probably take some heat for this, but Castro Valley Boulevard always kind of seemed like the funnest spot. There was a lot of dead, kind of dead area heading from Pring's over to Holiday Bowl, but cruising was a blast. So when I was a little kid at that time was probably the late 80s, and of course, um, pre-cell phones, pre-pagers. Um, we would just sit back at home and we would count our change and get get enough money together to number one, buy gas, which was most important because you can't cruise if your car doesn't have gas. And then number two, on top of that, we would count out our change to maybe buy an ice cream at the ice creamery, or more than likely we would end up at Pring's because Pring's, from what I recall, was open 24 hours. So we would have, enough change so that we can go to Pring's and have a hot chocolate, which at the time was probably a quarter. But you would, you know, divvy out whatever amount for gas because little kid in the back seat, I want to chip in for gas because I want to go have fun and cruise. Fortunately, I wasn't. Well, I wouldn't say fortunately. Maybe fortunately. It's just I was in the back seat a lot, and of course, both windows were rolled down, so I was, I benefited from maximum breeze in the back seat, which at times would get extremely cold. Man, cruising was fun. Cruising was just a blast. I mean, there were people who would do burnouts. They would spin their tires. There was a lot of hanging out. There was a lot of talking. I remember specifically stopping at certain spots where we could find a payphone, of course, before cell phones and pagers. Um, and you'd call the house of someone else and say, "Hey, why don't you? What are you doing? Meet us up at Castro." We would meet at Castro Village Bowl a couple times, at least in the parking lot. Because if you went inside and bowled, then you're going to be bowling all night, and you're not going to be cruising. But it was just a great opportunity to go out, and if you weren't actually doing anything, it's a good opportunity. It was a good opportunity to see, like I said, just ring up your friend and say, "Hey, we're gonna be in the neighborhood over by Holiday Bowl, or we're gonna be over by what was another spot in Castro Valley Boulevard? Back in the day, there was a Bob's Big Boy. That was it's where Denica's is now. That was another spot where we would kind of stop. Parking lots at gas stations. You just park there and kind of watch cars. If it was a warm night, there would be people walking by. The majority, I never saw any fights. I heard that there were some beefs. I don't know. I don't understand why, but overall, it was like the internet back then, involving loud, fast cars. Um, it was just a blast, and um, to recapture the magic of that, we kind of came up with cruise night, and we did it because cruise night was just fantastically fun. It was just a blast. Um, we had music on the boulevard. We had the sheriffs, and we had Alameda County sheriffs. They brought a classic car, Castro Valley CHP. They were out there too. Nothing says fun like classic cars, oldies music, and people enjoying beautiful weather and the outdoors. And we were lucky enough to kind of help local businesses because of all the additional foot traffic. But it was just a blast. I own a classic car, so it instead of just driving my own classic car up and down the boulevard, it allowed me and other people to cruise their classics, which is great. Car shows are great. Classic car shows are great. But these cars are meant to be on the road and driving around, and it was cool to kind of recapture some of that old feeling of loud muscle cars on the street and people having a blast. So, like Randall, we we cruised we cruised San Leandro a lot more than we did Castro Valley, um, because Pring's was our kind of stop. Like I said, um, we definitely be there and have some change for some hot chocolate or some French fries, or if we were lucky to have enough money, we would get a burger or a grilled cheese from Pring's. But cruising was just a blast. Cruising was awesome. Um, One more time, 510-331-9112 is the number. Um, Give me a second here. Um, yeah, shoot me a email or text if you have a question or a comment or a compliment. Sorry, I'm having trouble with my microphone here. It's falling all over the place. I don't have actually I do have a couple other things that I was going to bring up since we got down the road of nostalgia. I was thinking of boy, this is going to get me in some trouble. I was actually thinking of Mugs, and the pool hall, and I was thinking of the nighttime stuff that used to happen in Castro Valley, wasn't which ended up kind of notorious. Mugs was a bar on Redwood Road. The it's where the pizza place is now, and it every week they would have under 21 dancing, and they would also have they would have the male express dancers who were basically kind of male strippers. They didn't get completely naked, um, but basically kind of like G-string type dancing stuff. Unfortunately, during their time, Muggs was the home to a fatal shooting and a fatal stabbing, which really kind of marred the memory of that place. Um, oh man, I'm really gonna get myself in trouble here. I remember going into Muggs when I was, I think, 16 and being served beer. Mugg's was the place to go. Mugg's was the place to be in the Bay Area if you were gosh, it was the place to be for everyone. And on the other side of the unfortunate violence that happened there, there were also people who met their husbands and wives at Mugg's, and there were a lot of people who had a good time at Mugg's. Um, but we did have a strip club here in Castro Valley. We had a male strip club here in Castro Valley. It was a bar. I believe before it was Mugg's, it was Piccadilly Pub, way before my time, but I only know that because I've seen photos of it. And Mugg's was spelled with three G's because of the three brothers who owned Mugg's, I believe. Um, that's what I've heard. But Mugg's was three G's. Um, Kind of a notorious place. It's well remembered because a lot of people had good times there, and unfortunately, a lot of people had some bad times there too. And since I was thinking about Mugs, and please, if you have memories of Mugs, share them, and we can. I'm just scrolling through here. Layla's mentioning her friend met her husband there, so there you go. Um, Dawn is saying that I worked at Mugs, and no, I didn't work at Mugs, but I went there. Um, Christy is mentioning that Bob's Big Boy was an amazing place, and it was fun. Um, Dawn is asking what was Pring's. Pring's was an all-night diner, and the food I remember. Another bit of interesting history. Norman, who unfortunately passed away a few years ago, who opened Norman's Grill. Norm was actually a cook at Pring's many years ago. Um, but getting back to Pring's, Pring's was kind of like it was really a throwback to like an old school diner. It was a restaurant. The front had, of course, counter seating. There was a huge, huge bakery, and I remember their pies and all of their pastries just being amazingly delicious. Um, the things that I remember most from Pring's was, of course, the hot chocolate and their fries. Because, like I said, we would go there as kids and we would have like pocket change to hang out and enjoy the evening of cruising. But Pring's was cool. It was open 24 hours, so you could be out, cruising the Boulevard, cruising Mission, cruising East 14th, and no matter where you went, no matter what time, Pring's was always open, and Pring's was always packed. I remember just they were always packed, even if you went into Pring's at 12:45 a.m. It was just packed with people with families too, just people sitting down and having their meals. But that was Pring's. Pring's was awesome. Pring's was just fun. It was like I said, and I know everybody else's, local cruising memories are different. A lot of people remember probably maybe more so the restaurant that was at Holiday Bowl, and I don't know if you guys remember just how huge Holiday Bowl really was. I didn't remember how huge it was until I went over there after the fire and I looked at the building. That place was immense. But a lot of people remember Holiday Bowl as being, the place to go when you're out cruising after hours. I don't remember what time they closed. I don't think they were 24 hours, but I know, like I said, I know what Pring's was, and we were always at Pring's. Just huge. This place was great. Not even. Oh, I remember we were talking about Mugs, and there was, like I said, there was a shooting inside where a young lady died, unfortunately. Um, and I think the story was there was someone who the bouncers wouldn't let in, and he was, of course, nonplussed, and he came back and he shot at the bouncer and missed the bouncer, but hit someone inside the bar, and she died. And I I can't remember her name and I don't remember the year, but it was terrible. It was horrible. I remember hearing that secondhand when it happened. And there was also another fight in the parking lot where somebody got stabbed and killed. So we may be better off not having mugs open. But I do have some good memories of that. And I'm sure other people do as well. Um, hey, thank you to our Bob is mentioning that the waitresses at Pring's were straight out of Central Casting, and that's true. They kind of looked like I don't know if you ever saw what was it? Was the show called Alice where they worked at Mel's place? They all kind of looked like that. Not that that's bad, but they looked like a waitress you would see in a movie. I mean, um, some of the comments here. Um, just bear with me. So, since we were talking about mugs, I also thought about another place in town that had kind of a notorious um, reputation was the pool hall, where um, where the marketplace is now. And there were, you know, the pool hall was fun. Unfortunately, there was just one person in there all the time. So when things got rowdy in there, they really had it really kind of got really out of hand really fast. I was there one night. I was leaving, and a fight broke out inside. I mean, like a real fight, not like an argument, not like two people shouting at each other. There were fisticuffs. It was a real Donnybrook in there, and I just it's sad when fun things completely go sideways, but. Um, the pool hall was fun. The pool hall was a blast. Unfortunately, like I said, like Mugs, there was an element of violence and not good things happening there. But so there you have the expiration of the list. There we talked about Mugs and the pool hall, and fortunately now we've covered this a couple times. The pool hall closed. There was someone a bunch of years ago who wanted to come and do a supper club there, and he was prepared to invest a pretty penny in the building to make a supper club, an upscale supper club that had, of course, you would have a restaurant and also some live entertainment. And I remember being at a MAC meeting where a lot of neighbors came in and said, no. They said, no, we don't want a supper club with music. It's going to be too loud. There's going to be too many people parked in there. So that's how that happened. But fortunately, now we have the marketplace that looks fantastic. What an improvement! What an improvement over the big white um, building that we had at the center of our downtown for many, 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 many years. It's I know people still miss the spirit store that was there once a year for Halloween, but it's I think it's a happy ending to kind of a ugly story when it comes to that building. It's amazing that there's another an amazing for you, Don. It's it's wild that that building just sat preserved for so many years, like a time warp. Just a building that was built so many years ago just sat at the center of our downtown for so many years vacant. Um, Thank you to the folks with the marketplace who came in and invested in our community and really made that building beautiful. It looks fantastic. Um, yeah, I honestly have fond memories of the pool hall, but unfortunately, there was some violence there, and I know there were a lot of calls from the sheriffs uh, to go to that place. Don says he's listening to me in HD. Should I? Does that mean you have a million speakers in your in your house that you're listening to us in HD? Don is awesome. Thank you for tuning in, Don. With that said, I'll give you the number here one more time. Looks like I've successfully killed an hour blathering again. It's amazing how that works. Um, Mostly the trip down memory lane when it comes to mugs, cruising, in the pool hall. 510-331-9112. We've got a couple more minutes if you'd like to send in a confession, complaint, um, whatever's on your mind. Layla said I have a great voice. Well, thank you. Um, Honestly, when I record these, I don't listen to them because I don't like my voice. But 510-331-9112 is the number here if there's something on your mind. Um, I didn't really go into the COVID thing because we all kind of know what page we're on with that. The good news is the vaccine is going out. The vaccine has actually been administered to people. Our first responders, the people who really need it and deserve it, are going to be getting it now, which is really how it should be. Our first responders are that's police, fire, CHP. Hopefully, that's getting to the vaccine is getting to those people first. I did hear that there's going to be more coming, and there's going to be some sort of uh, discussion and figuring out of who should get it next in regards to probably people in nursing homes, and the older folks are going to be getting it next. Uh, the majority of information that I've heard is it's going to be probably another few months before it hits just the regular population. Um, However, you know what? Um, that's a light at the end of the tunnel. However, how long the tunnel is, I don't know. But we're not at a point now where we don't have a vaccine, and we're not kind of floating in the water like we've been for a lot of months. Um, I know the whole COVID thing and the masks and the social distancing, that's like a conversational third rail that I don't want to get into. But hopefully you guys are keeping yourselves and your neighbors and your loved ones safe. Um, that's what's important, because this this ugly this ugly thing that is 2020 is going to be over, and we're going to be at a position where we're going to be able to hug our loved ones again. We're going to be able to have coffee with people and not worry about spreading or getting anything um, in regards to COVID. It's going to end, and life is going to go on, and we're going to um, Castro Valley is going to continue kicking ass. It's going to happen. So hey guys, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for listening to me blather on about our wonderful town and the wonderful people that live here. Thank you guys so much. I'm just looking at this number, 935 cards. It's remarkable. I'm not saying amazing again because it's probably 25 times I've said that, but wow, you guys are awesome. I love being able to interact with you guys basically every day, and also in a more kind of intimate, personal way on the show every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. We do this every Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Thank you guys so much for being amazing. There's another amazing, for being so great, so compassionate, so giving, so caring. It makes living in our community even more enjoyable. Thank you again, guys. We'll see you next Tuesday, 7 p.m. And as always, when the going gets weird, the weird turn pro. Thanks, guys. Stay safe. Talk to you next week.